Welcome to GausRoth Tutorials. I'm GausRoth, and today we're going to create this coin collection system where we collide with the coin and it gives us a point. So just to demonstrate, we're going to collide with this coin. We hear a sound effect, we see a visual effect, and the coin is gone. We get a point. However, the coin is actually right here. It is randomly selecting a location based on some variables that we give it, and then it'll move to that location. So now it's over there. And yeah, so let's jump into it. We're going to go into build mode. We're going to open up our object panel just to see what the settings are. It is visible, it is collidable, collision layer is everything. We need this to be everything so we can collide with the player. Motion is set to animated because we are going to be moving it. We don't need to do anything with this. Attributes have been left alone. Physics, there is none. And under more, I have collision events from player, and I have the head, torso, and hands turned on. We have who can grab it to anyone, but it's not grabbable, so this does not matter. Avatar attachable is off, and then I have keep ownership on collision on. This won't really matter because we're not actually worrying about ownership in this case. Now we're going to open up a script gizmo, so go to build, gizmos, pull out a script, and this one we're going to name, we'll just name it coin. Okay, and then we got to attach our coin script to our coin. And what do we want to do? We want to do something when the player collides with this, so we need to go to events and scroll down to our collision events, and then when colliding with player. Now we can use that one, or we can use with info. The thing about this that's nice is it gives us the point of the collision, the normal of the collision, and the relative velocity of the collision. With these things we can do extra things, so we're just going to get rid of, we can leave when world is started in there for now, but we're going to get rid of when colliding with player. This will just allow us to do some extra things. Now something I want to do is play a sound effect and maybe a visual effect. So we're going to create a variable for both of those. They're going to be object variables. And we need an SFX and a VFX. And this is just so that the player has some feedback, so they know they collided with it. They know something is happening. And then when colliding with player, we will play those effects. So we'll go to actions, scroll down to sound, we'll play our sound effect, and then we will play our visual effect, and then we just have to drop our VFX into the play visual effects, and then our SFX into play sound. Now we need to find one of those, so let's go into our gizmos and find our visual effect or our particle effect, and we need to find a good particle effect for this, so let's cycle through them quick. We have our smoke hit. That might be a good one. This one's good for like if you're hitting something, so that might be a good one. Hit ring maybe could indicate that you hit something, but there are some other ones that might be good. You could do confetti burst maybe. The sparkles probably not. It's more to like grab your attention of something. Water, fireworks, magic collapse, build up vertical lines. I'm gonna think maybe the hit ring is going to be good now when I play it. Is it like on the Y maybe? Billboarding or something? I don't know if I play it down here. Yeah, it must be like some sort of billboard experience here. Yeah, see, it's always facing the player, which may or may not be desirable, but it is what it is. We could change it to the other one. Let's just see if that looks maybe a little better. So hit spark. Yeah, we could do that. So we're going to open up this and then open up that. Turn U so I can see what I'm doing here. And we're going to drop our particle effect into our VFX. Now we need to have a sound effect. So let's go to sounds. Bring this back a little bit. I'm just going to search hit. Probably going to get a bunch of, oh, not high, I want hit. How about, do they have a money sound, like a coin sound maybe? I know they have like, yeah, there we go. We'll use this money ad sound. How about that? Okay. So now we will just drop our money ad into our sound effect. Preview. That should be good, I think, but we don't really need it to be maximum distance of 100. That's 100 meters, so that's really far away. Let's turn our minimum distance to 0, and then maybe our maximum to 1, because I mean, you don't need to be that far away in here. Okay, let's play it. Can't hear it. Get closer. Can hear it. Okay. We might need to adjust that, so let's just move this in here. Actually, I could probably just drop it like that. Now, when I go in, let's see. So we can see our hit spark, we can hear our money ad, but there's a problem when I hold it. This is not really what we want to see or hear. So what we need to do is put some kind of delay in our script. So let's group all this together so that it's all one. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be better just to ungroup all of this and then reassign stuff. So let's do that. This is our particle effect, and that's our sound effect. And let's ungroup that. And everything should be by itself. Now we need to find one that's in the right orientation. So actually we could take this one and just rotate it. And then our positive Y on that is that way. It's the same thing on both ends, so it's really a matter of how I want the ball to look like it's going. Do I want it that way? Do I want it that way? I want it going that way, so we do need to rotate it a little bit like that. So our Y, our positive Y, so this would be our forward, and then our positive Z is our forward, and positive Y is our up. So we need to make sure we select that one first, and then select everything else. And then you see positive Y, positive Z, and now we can group it. And now we have to re-add our coin script, and then re-add our SFX and our VFX. And we should be able to close these out. We're still going to have that issue with the collision, so we do need to add some sort of delay. So I'm going to create a Boolean. We're going to call this has collided. What we're going to do is we're going to check that that Boolean is false before we run our code. So we're going to go to Events, Control, we're going to grab an if, and then in order to check if something is false, there's two ways you can do it. The way I like to do it is you go to Operators, grab a not, drop in your Boolean. So if it has not collided, we will play our sound, play our visual effect. However, we do need to set our Boolean, so we go over to Values, go grab our set to, and what we're going to do is we're going to set has collided to not has collided. And what this means is we're going to set our has collided Boolean to the opposite of what has collided is. So if it's true, it'll return false. If it's false, it'll return true. Now we need to toggle this after a couple seconds. So we will grab a when event is received. So under events, when event is received. And we're going to create a new event, and we'll just call it toggle bool. What we're going to do, then we're just going to drop our has collided to not has collided. So again, we're setting it from false to true, and then we're going to set it back from true to false. So next we need to send to that event. So we're going to go to under events, event actions, and we're going to send event to object, but we're going to do it with a delay. So send event with delay. And this will allow us to toggle this Boolean after an X amount of seconds. So we're going to send toggle bool to self after 1 second. And then it'll call this and it'll change our Boolean. So what all this does is if our Boolean is false, we're going to set it to true, and we're going to send toggle bool to self after 1 second, and then it'll change it back to false. And just to be sure, we will make sure we are setting our has collided to false on start. It should automatically be set to that, but just to be sure, we will set it to false. There is one other thing that we need to do. Since I ungrouped everything, I do need to go into more and redo our collision event. So player, and then that should be all we need to do. Go into play, and now when I collide with it, it'll only do it that one time, but now it's resetting after that second. What we're going to do is we're going to move this somewhere else, that way you can't keep colliding with it. So we need to move this after the collision. So I'm going to do some random like location generation here. So in order to do this, we need to have a couple number variables. So this is going to be our min x. We need a max x. And then we need a y. The y is not going to change because it's at a good height. So then we also need a min z. Oh, no. I forgot the z. And a max z. And I'm just going to check, let's see here. So we're going to open up this guy. And its current position is 1.67. Let's turn that down to 1.5 because that's going to bother me. And let's just look at it. And then let's see here. So if our position is 0, and then our z, let's 0 it out so that it's at center. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to set these pragmatically on start. That way you can place it anywhere and it'll just randomly generate based off that location. So when world is started, we're going to set our min x. Right, so we need to find our vector math. So under operators, scroll down to vector math, and we need the x of vector. And then we need the position of the object. So again, under operators, and then we're going to find our object transform, position of object, and then we'll just put in our self. Self can be found under values, and then value input self. But we do need to subtract this number, so we're going to make a duplicate of this. And then we're going to go to operators again, scroll all the way up to the top, and we need to go to basic operations and grab a subtraction sign. And we're just going to drop that in there, put that over there, and then we need a number value. So under values, value input, number input, and we'll just subtract 10 from that. And then the same thing with our max x, except we're going to add. So let's go over to our variables, grab our max x, and then we need to grab a plus sign. So operators, basic operations, grab a plus, and then we just need to drop in that and drop in that. And if you're curious how I am duplicating, is you grab it, and then right here you have this duplication sign. So if you were to go over to the right with your right thumbstick, it duplicates. If you go down, it deletes it. So now we have our min x and max x, and we need to do the same thing for our z and our y. We do need to change our number variables, so we'll go over here to our variables. We're going to grab our min z and drop it in there, our max z, and then our y. Okay. Now we need to go back to our vector math, so operators, vector math, we're going to grab the z, we're just going to drop that in there just like that, and we'll just position of self, and then our y will just be the y of position of self. So now we have our range of potential move locations. So what we're going to do is when colliding with player, we are then going to move to a randomly selected location from this. So in order to do that, we're going to go to motion. We're going to grab an instant motion because I don't want to watch it move. I just want it, bam, to teleport to that location. So we're going to grab a move to. We'll move self to a vector. And we're going to create a custom vector. So go back to operators, vector math, and we're going to create a new vector from x, y, z. And we'll drop that in there. And now it's asking for an x, a y, and a z. The y is easy, we just drop in our y. But for our x and our z, we're going to create a random number. So we go back to operators, scroll up a little bit to random numbers. We don't want decimals, though you can. Decimals, it could give you very small changes in its location, but we're going to grab a random number and we will drop it in there, and then we will drop another one in here. So we're going to grab a random integer between our low end and our high end. So if we get rid of this, it says minimum and maximum. Our minimum will be our min x, because this is the x area, so our min x, and then our max x. However, this number is inclusive, meaning if you put whatever number you put in here will be in the range. This one is exclusive, meaning this number, whatever that number is, will not be in the potential range. So we need to add 1 to that number. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a plus sign under basic operations and drop that in there, and we will then grab our max x and add 1 to that. This way, whatever number our max x is, it will still be added into that potential range. Now we just need to do the same thing for over here, so we'll get rid of these and we'll grab our plus sign and we will add our max z and min z. Now it will move this coin to a random location that we give it based off of these numbers. So now if I hit clear and play and I go and I collide with it, bam, so now it's over there. Though we did see an issue with we weren't able to hear or see the visual effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this move down to toggle bool. That way you hear it, you see it, then it moves. Now if I go in, let's reset it, and I hit it, you hear it, you see it, and now it's somewhere else. Now it's over here. Now we can go over and hit it again, bam, there it is. Now it's going to keep going in a location within this 10 by 10 square, and it's always going to maintain that height. We have this mechanic where we can collide with this coin, but we're not actually getting anything out of it. So we need to create a PPV. We have to go to systems, and we got to go to player variables. Don't worry about these. These are from my past tutorial. I just reuse the same world. Get rid of that. Create a variable, and we'll just call this one coins collected. And then we're going to grab a leaderboard. We don't need these. And then I'll just call this one coins collected as well. Just to make sure they're in there, coins collected, coins collected. So now we have our variables, and when colliding with player, now you can put it in here or you can put it in here. I'm going to put it in here so it doesn't actually get added until it moves. We need to set our PPV, so we're going to go to values, scroll up, We're going to set player persistent var to, drop that in right above the move, and we're going to change coins collected to get player persistent variable, but we need to add one. So we're going to grab this plus sign right here. Nope, don't need two of them, just need one. And we're going to get our player persistent variable. We'll drop that word right there, and we're going to set, so we're setting coins collected to the coins collected for the player plus one. Now we don't have a player variable yet, so what we need to do is we need to send the player that's colliding with the coin to our toggle bool, and then we need to receive it, so we need to create a player variable. We're just going to call this player, and we're going to drop the player in here and drop the player in here. So we're setting coins collected to the player's coins collected plus one for the player. Then we're going to set our leaderboard under values, set world leaderboard score for player, and we drop that after we set the variable, and we'll set it to coins collected for player, and we're going to set it to the coins collected variable, and we're going to leave force off. If you turn force on, it's going to disregard whatever number is there, and it's going to put the new number. All right, so now we're setting our PPV, we're setting our leaderboard. So next we need to create a leaderboard. So we're going to go into our menu here, go to build, gizmos, and we're going to find a leaderboard gizmo, which is right here. And we're going to make this a little bigger so we can actually see it, and we'll put it right there. Open up our object panel, and we're going to change the leaderboard to coins collected, and then we'll just change the leaderboard name to coins. We can have anywhere between 1 and 10 entries per, and then we can change our anchor style. Now we have our leaderboard set up, we have our coin set up, so we're going to clear it, we're going to reset, and now we're going to, got nothing here, we're going to collide with it, bam, it's going to move, and bam, now we have a coin that has been collected. And that is all I have for this tutorial. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this video, or have any suggestions for a future video, please let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, if you learned anything, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you are notified of all my future videos. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.